Share. We're seeing several external stress factors. We're seeing quite a bit of geopolitical tension around us. What's that going to do for our external sector and also for our supply chains, given that you also are an exporter?
Thank you, Savitri. So I think, the last few years have actually made us face, unforeseen adversity. And I think Sri Lanka as a whole did quite well during the pandemic. At least companies that could get their supply chain could get it together, actually did really well. And just coming back from Indonesia, I realized that we were able to, thanks to the government policy on letting our businesses operate, we were able to actually do a lot. But in saying that now, there's a lot of stress in most economies. And as Dr. Kumarasamy said, exports are down. We are seeing in our group, actually our exports are increasing. But overall, I think one of the key issues in Sri Lanka is our productivity and cost of production overall. And I think this is a major challenge. You saw during the pandemic, people really putting a lot more focus on supply chain. I think proximity, we never actually saw the type of stress on logistics that we saw during the pandemic, and it continues actually throughout now with different challenges. So if we are to be strong in manufacturing, we really need to understand that process. So for example, we are actually one of the largest coconut milk exporters out of Sri Lanka. But some of our customers pack up the product we do. The same product is manufactured in Indonesia because they are looking at stabilizing their supply chain and de-risking supply problems. As Sri Lankan manufacturers, exporting, that is something that we also need to do. Geopolitical issues, climate issues, especially in agriculture, value addition becomes a problem. But I think one of the biggest challenges for Sri Lanka is the cost of capital. We have to pay so much more than anybody else. And that is one, and also the whole infrastructure of investing overseas is very, very challenging. So if, we are really to look at modernizing agriculture and actually reaping the benefits, all these pieces actually need to fall into place.
Just to find out, how do we also adapt to some of those conditions that you were talking about, the challenges?
So I think agility is really important. You need to identify your risks and actually de-risk. And some of the things that I said, even for exports, while we can actually have very strong bases in Sri Lanka, in agriculture, I think you need to de-risk that geographically as well. And you see a lot. You see the tea exporters doing that. You're seeing the coconut exporters doing that. The garment industry has done that for many years. It's very difficult to just, be in a little silo. And look, supply chain is key. India is our biggest neighbor. A lot of our commodities come from there, but India from time to time also has policy changes where they completely stop exports. So it's important that our government, the government-to-government interactions are strong so that these kind of shocks also are mitigated if we have better relationships.